Let's talk about homework. So get your paper, get your paper, get your paper, get your paper, get your homework. Like, I mean, I do that anyway and it still doesn't work.
Everybody get your folders.
You know,
if she's got homework, then you have homework.
How do we balance busyness in life? Busyness versus balance. How do we keep God first?
This is More Than Reality podcast, where we dive into all things faith, family, and marriage and share that there is so much more than the reality that you see on the surface. Welcome to More Than Reality with Adam and Danielle Busby.
What's up, guys? This is More Than Reality podcast with Adam and Danielle Busby.
Hello, hello.
And my phone's
you're at
going
fault
off.
for that.
Got me. There's Dale.
You're at fault for that.
So we just got back. We went to Bronson. He's in middle school, 7th grade.
It was his first football game.
It was his first real football game. And so they actually played here.
What's a fake football game?
Well, the last game was just a scrimmage. So this was like their real football game. And so they played over here in our town now, in Friendswood. And so we just drove down the road and watched them play for a little bit.
I didn't get to see it because I was at tennis with Riley.
And so I just sent him a bunch of photos, and of course he's responded to them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what's fun. I get to take my nieces and nephews' photos whenever I go watch them play.
It's like, is Adam coming? Bring his camera.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so, gosh, I don't even remember. What episode are we on? Or did we hit 50 yet?
No.
Oh, dang it.
Last week we were just talking about 48.
Yeah, but I thought that was 2 episodes ago. So,
and there's not just 50 weeks in a year.
I know, 52.
And we missed 1 week.
Okay, whatever.
So we're like a year and a week before we hit the...
I'm so uncomfortable right now with this. Why does this feel like my chair's off and my mic's off and everything's off?
I moved a bunch of stuff around because I had a photo shoot this week, or a video shoot, and I just grabbed a bunch of gear and ran out the door. So like everything's kind of feels out of place right now. But you took Riley to tennis. I did it her last few practices, and so Danielle took her. And then I took the other 4 quints. Blake stayed home and did homework. Yeah,
so she's getting a dose of like high school and like how different it is, and you know, there's homework. And I guess like today there was like an outage of like network internet or whatever, but the teachers were still like, well, you still need to go home and do this work every class. She's like, I have to do work at everyone. I'm like, well, this is high school, babe. This is high school. No more.
I feel like high school is a lot different than it was whenever we grew up.
I mean, I had homework in elementary school, you know? These kids don't even know what.
I feel like I never did homework.
Back in the 1900s.
I feel like I never took anything home.
Let's talk about homework. So quintuplets and homework, which, don't get me wrong, it's not a lot of homework and it's not hard homework. It's just 5 girls trying to do homework, and they don't want to sit by each other to do the homework because they don't want each other to copy each other.
But they all have the same homework.
But they all have the same homework. So in my head, I'm like,
let's work on this together.
Let's just do it together.
Let's go one by one.
Let's do one, but
I'll answer all the questions.
But then you've got some that need help, and some that I'm like, don't move to the next one until we're all ready to go. Yeah. And then she's on number 3 and we're still on number 1. And I'm like,
I didn't bring home a pencil.
And I don't have a pencil.
We realized we need to have a box of pencils at home.
Yes. I'm like, we bought so many pencils.
Yeah, we bought like each of them, like their own like case.
I guess
I
got to keep them at school. I guess they can't bring their pencil pouch.
We keep them at school in our box. Well, if you bring in homework home, bring a pencil home.
You probably each have 40 pencils at school. Can you just each bring one home?
I think you can spare one. Keep one in your backpack.
But last week, so they all had the same like math worksheet, and I think there's like 10 problems on it, and they're like problem solving ones, and they're in division and fractions and stuff. And Ava is probably the quickest. Her and Parker are usually the ones that like on Monday they'll get it, be like they want to do their homework, and which I like that because I'm like, okay, I'll knock out 2. That's good. And so by the time I get to the next day, nobody else wanted to do their homework that day, and the next day comes around and it was like Olivia and Riley had tennis, such and such was down the street, like, you know, so it was just Olivia. I was like, all right, I'll just do this with Olivia. This was my 3rd time doing that worksheet.
That same sheet.
Then it comes Thursday. We didn't do anything Wednesday. I think we had something going on or something. And so then Thursday comes in. Well, it's due on Friday. So here's Thursday. Riley's going to do hers. And then I don't know what happened with Hazel's because I found out about it yesterday that she needed to turn hers in today.
Well, she had the paper that they did last week.
Because she didn't do it. She didn't do it. And so I'm trying to teach my kids consequences that you can't tell us at breakfast or when it's time to get in the car to go to school that you had a worksheet to do. And I said, well, we talk about homework almost every single day. If you don't know that you have homework, I'm not at school with you. I'm not going to baby you I can't keep up with it, you know? And when we're all doing homework and you're not doing it, why aren't you doing it?
Yeah.
There's almost, it's like a lesson too, that like I too am like, could I be like, get your paper, get your paper, get your paper, get your paper, get your homework. Like, I mean, I do that anyway and it still doesn't work.
Everybody get your folders.
You know,
if she's got homework, then you have homework.
Right. And so she was trying to do it today. And I said, Hazel.
Or maybe because Riley, Olivia, and Parker are in one class and then Hazel and Ava are in another.
It's the same teacher. It's the same papers. No, it was the same one. So
because some of them will say, oh yeah, I have homework, and then others will not, and then they'll come home the next day or 2 days later, and then they have that paper.
No, it's because they don't want to do it, and they know it's not due till Friday, and it's still in their folder.
So it's usually like Wednesday or Thursday evening.
Yeah,
we're huddled around the coffee table.
So Hazel's like, I needed, after she showered tonight, she's like, I need to do my homework. I was like, baby, homework. I said, we can't do homework at 8:30 when it's past bedtime. And she's like, no, this is the one. I said, was this the one from last week that you turned in today that you were supposed to get a conduct mark, like a mark because you didn't do it? And she said, yes, but she said, I can turn it into tomorrow. I said, okay, let's go do the homework. And so
nobody wants to give Hazel a mark.
Listen. And I'm just
she's already got teachers wrapped.
Listen, I'm like, give her a mark. Give her a mark.
They won't do it.
Give her a mark. It's been 2 times. You know?
Nobody wants to be mean to Hazel.
I mean, she's about crying.
She's sweet.
She's about crying.
She's probably crying whenever she turned it in.
I didn't do it. My mama said.
I guarantee.
That's what they're saying.
I guarantee she pulled that paper out crying.
No. But we're sitting down there and I look and I go, oh, this is the one that I did 4 times last week. I know all the answers to this without even reading them. Number 10 is 266. It was just funny.
Well, I went back after you last week.
No, if they
and
get
you had some wrong.
No, it's not. It's not my work if they're doing it.
But if I say they did it wrong, I'm going to walk through it and say, okay, this one is not right. Now let's work back through the process.
I do that too. But if they're doing it and they're like, this times this is this number, and they go and they're doing it, and I'm like, okay, like they have to be able to learn too. They're not going to learn by me correcting every single step. I'm watching them, but just every once in a while they'll do something out of place and they know what they're doing.
Plus the new math, the way that they teach math to kids.
No, they're teaching it more like I grew up learning it these days.
But whenever Blake was going through.
Because that was all supposed to teach them how to do it easier.
I swear it took 10 minutes longer.
I know.
To do every single thing.
It's supposedly confuses the parents, but it's supposed to help them
later on.
When they get to fractions and algebra.
Yeah, I forget what they call it that.
I don't know.
The new type of math or learning or whatever. But it drove me nuts.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what y'all are doing. Just
I never drew all these boxes and rows and. Like
I mean, it makes sense once you know it.
I mean, it's more visual.
Yeah, just like whatever. Anyway, that's a boring topic to intro to this podcast.
But not a boring topic is today's sponsor. We wanted to mention Good Ranchers and thank Good Ranchers for sponsoring today's episode.
Yes.
100% born, raised, harvested American meat delivered to your door. And we've been subscribers to Good Ranchers for 3 years now and absolutely love it. Whenever it comes to meat, we don't want anything else. We have peace of mind with Good Ranchers. Mm-hmm. And so if you go to goodranchers.com, use the code Busby, you'll get $40 off plus free meat for life. And so that whenever you sign up for a subscription, you get a free item in your box every single month through the duration of your subscription. So you can go to goodranchers.com, use the code Busby, and thank you, Good Ranchers, for sponsoring this episode.
Yes. Thank you. So let's see. Today's topic of conversation is going to be how do we balance busyness in life and keeping God involved in our life, keeping God first. So busyness versus balance. How do we keep God first in a full life? Like, how do we keep it in a full life? Because our life is nonstop. And I think a lot of people can relate to this topic. I know that, I am not perfect and I'm never going to be, but I feel like I do try, and I'm always conscious of my time with God,
You're definitely more intentional than I am, for sure, because I let my day get the most of me. And so, I mean, I don't have, and I'll be completely upfront. Like, I don't have a quiet time every day because just once my day starts, I go straight to the gym and then just kids and school. And then if I have a meeting first thing in the morning, I got to hurry up once kids get to school, take a shower, and then get out the door. And then sometimes, I may, in between meetings or something like that, go find a quiet spot and read my Bible or something like that, just on my phone. Have a reading plan that I'll just go through and find the day or whatever, and then but just spending just quality time, because whenever it comes to a quiet time, yes, reading your Bible, reading your Bible is so beneficial, but also just praying and meditating and just spending time with God is a whole nother thing. And so sometimes, I'll read my Bible, but then I won't take that extra time. I may do a quick prayer or something like that, or if something stands out, but it's not just okay, I don't, and it's wrong because I don't prioritize my time some days with God. And, I think, I'm not going to say it. I think that's okay. It's not okay, but we're not perfect either. And God sees your effort, sees your lack of effort, but
I think what
the thing is just to not beat yourself up about it.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
I mean, you don't want to feel shame
No, you don't want to feel shame or guilt about it.
Whenever I say beat yourself up, he doesn't want you feeling shame.
But you've said it on the podcast a couple of times, you sometimes try to control, when you're okay, I feel like God's brought us to this place. Okay, you're good. Mm-hmm. You don't keep, you kind of then you take control over that. And so what you're saying today is that you don't necessarily prioritize it every day, but you're aware of that.
Yeah.
But you also are so easily distracted by a lot of things. So what you have to do is start setting habits. If you can create a habit, just like you go to the gym, and you create a habit where you're reading your Bible, or you're literally just before you get out of bed to go to the gym, you're talking to Jesus. You know, you're praying like right there in your bed before you get up. Like creating a habit is what will start. And I will say, like, I'm not a morning person. I'm not one who, you know, wakes up and my first time goes to that. Sometimes it is, because sometimes like I wake up in the middle of the night and like I just start praying and I'm thinking, because I can't go to sleep, and then I'm thinking about something and I just feel like I just need to pray about that. If it's keeping me up, or I can't sleep, or I'm thinking about someone, or like those are just my intuitions, like, okay, I need to just pray about that. So my thing is, I get up and I know where my downtime is coming throughout the day, but I am more of like a mind structured person. And so I know that like I have God all day, like all day. You too, and you too listening have God all day. You just have to be aware that he's always there. When are you going to be present with him? When you're in the car at the red light, instead of taking 5 seconds or the 2 minutes it takes, however long red light is, for you to take a quick peek at your phone, just take 2 minutes. That is a little bitty small action right there. Like, just to start, like, pray for your spouse. Just start a habit at the red lights. Pray for your spouse. Pray for your kids. Pray for someone who's sick. Pray for someone who's hurting. Like, pray for a friend. Like, it's just one small habit that can change the way your faith works, you know? And I'm not one who wakes up first thing in the morning, but I will say I love the quality of, after kids go to school, I know I'm less distracted. It doesn't mean I don't have stuff that I got to knock out and I'm going to get behind today, but that's okay, because I know God is deserving of this time. And I know that the more I read my Bible, the more intrigued I am of things that I've already heard that want me to know more. And that's interesting to say, because I couldn't have said that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to say that 10, 20 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
So I get over, like, a lot of questions have been coming in about, like, how does one start reading the Bible, you know? Because it's intimidating. I never like to read, and I look at that book and it's like 4 inches thick. Yeah. You're like, I ain't reading that, you know?
I mean, the easiest way to start is just like honestly, the Bible app is a great resource, because there's so many small Bible studies. There's so many reading plans on there where, you know, it'll give you small, you know, you can knock it out in small chunks, and it makes it manageable, and you can check it off the checklist, and it like gives you like a little prompt, like you completed today's, you know, reading or whatever. And that does help build habits. And I mean, that's like the reading plan that I go through. I mean, it's just, you know, it's all, you know, you may have 4 passages today, and that's it. And then, but over the course of a year, you know, lo and behold, you read the whole Bible. But also, and I would say, if you're just like wanting to learn about the Bible, almost ditch and I'm not gonna say, well, I don't want to say ditch, but start with the New Testament. Start with, you know, the life of Jesus that he lived. May go back and, you know, read like Psalms and Proverbs and stuff like that. But, you know, just read about the life of Jesus. So Matthew, Mark, you know, all the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, you know, and kind of continue through there, the starting of the church and all those things. And I feel like that's where you get like a lot of the benefit of understanding and, you know, the gospel. And, you know, it's easy to get bogged down if you start in Genesis. Genesis is very interesting. Exodus is cool, but then you get to Leviticus. And then it's
you
just
don't
like,
understand a word.
It's just like lineage and rules and all this stuff that was like way in the old law and stuff before Jesus came. And I mean, there's just so much there that'll just bog you down.
Yeah.
And so that's why the reading plans are really good, because, you know, it'll jump around. And so you may have like a few things in the New Testament, a few things in the Old Testament, and then it kind of whittles those around little by little.
Yeah.
And so it helps. It helps a ton.
Yeah. I mean, even with, I feel like, you know, we all probably struggle to stay on like routines ritually. Like I don't know one person who doesn't get off track.
Yeah.
In any capacity, right? And even with what I have in my mind or in our life, whatever we've learned this since we've had 6 kids, whatever we have planned for today, we know it's not going to.
Yeah. It's not going to go how you.
It's not going to go as we envisioned, because something's going to happen, and it might be something. It might even be something good that happens outside. It's just not going to be what was
always something.
There's just always something that happens. Yeah. And so we always have to keep our minds a little bit open to the day, you know, but I think
that's why it's best to make it a priority in the morning before things start, for sure.
Yeah. But there's
also people that are like, oh, I'm a night person. And so,
yeah, and so I read my Bible.
I can't do that at night.
See,
like,
I read it
if I lay down in my bed.
Like, tell everybody what I just got that I'm so excited about.
Danielle just...
I've been wanting one of those.
Danielle just bought a reading light. And it's like this LED light with a little gooseneck that clips onto whatever you're reading.
Yeah, and
it's bright as crap.
No, your phone is bright.
No.
It has 3 switches on. I put it on the lightest one too, because I don't need a lot of light.
But
that's hilarious.
She is a night owl, and so she can lay in bed and she can read and study or do whatever she's working on for a while. I know that. But me, the second I lay down, if I want to pick something up to read, or if I'm reading a book at the time or whatever, I might get through 2 pages and I'm out. It's falling over in my lap. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to read that back again tomorrow, because I have
never comprehending because you never read it.
Isn't it funny how you can read and you'll still keep reading, but you like all comprehension goes out the window.
You're just reading words, but you're not intaking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens a lot to me.
That's why 99% of the stuff that I read, like I do audiobooks, and if it's something really important, like a Bible study or like a book study that I'm doing with some other people, like on leadership or something, I will buy the book and I also buy the audiobook.
Yeah.
And
I do that too.
And I'll listen to it as I'm reading it, and it helps me kind of understand and like comprehend, because I'm doing both at the same time.
Yeah. All right, and we're going to take a little break for our sponsor, the one and only Good Ranchers.
Yeah.
And I know I am not the only one who goes grocery shopping and finds something that just totally grosses them out. And I feel that about a lot of foods that we shop for, especially when it comes to meat. Like when you go to the meat department, you're like, I just want some ground beef, or I need some steaks. And then it looks like it's been sitting out there for 5 days. And it's like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Well,
you just never know what they're going to put in it for like,
to make it to look good.
Preservatives, or, I mean, whenever it comes to vegetables, it's like stuff that they put in it to ripen it.
Yeah.
They like expose it to like this gas, but I mean, that's just the thing nowadays. I mean, like it's like we're seeing it in the grocery stores and stuff, but it's like when you talk about what we've learned about the meat in our country and how so much of it is imported. Yeah. And the fact that it's like got that U.S. label on it, and it's really not packaged. It may have had like that last little stamp on it in here in the U.S., but it was not born and raised and harvested like all the things here. And it was put on a shipping container. That just sounds like, just thinking of that
meat floating across in a shipping container for time after time. Like, that just grosses me out. So I am so glad that Good Ranchers has come into our life, and we know where our meat is coming from. And
it started about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, before I even started working at Good Ranchers and stuff, started looking into it, found a few things about, just wanting to eat healthier, wanting to eat more like whole foods, single ingredient foods, stuff like that. And came across Good Ranchers, started looking into it, started learning about all the loopholes in the USDA system and
meat industry,
the way that the government controls stuff. There's just so many loopholes. There's tricky wording and stuff on packages and all this kind of stuff. And the USDA label, products of the US, is, you can't really trust it.
Yeah.
But you can trust Good Ranchers. It comes from local, small artisan ranches all around the country. Mm-hmm. Everything is born, raised, harvested all in the U.S. and delivered straight to your door. If you go to goodranchers.com. Yeah, I mean, we love it. It's whenever it comes to the taste, especially like the beef, every bit of the Good Ranchers beef is like aged a minimum of 21 days. And what that does is it allows the cells in the meat to kind of break down a little bit, which increases the flavor, increases the tenderness. So they go that extra mile. They keep their standards up for quality. Yeah. And that's why we love Good Ranchers.
I'm telling you, we got a lot of subscribers who have already tried Good Ranchers and are falling in love with it. And right now, you don't have to worry about like, a subscription, whatnot, because if you go to town or you need to pause it or delay it or push it back a month or whatever, like, they're happy to do any of that with you. So don't feel like you're like, oh no, I don't want to get in a subscription. There's options there. If you don't want it monthly, like, they'll figure it out. You just tell them what's going on and it's easy.
Yeah. So anything that you buy on goodranchers.com right now, if you use the code Busby, you'll get $40 off of that. Plus, they say free meat for life. And so what you're getting, there's a list of cuts and types of meat that you can pick, and it goes for free in your box for the life of your subscription. And through that subscription, you can actually, say you get bacon this month and it was your free item. Well, next month you can actually change that free item. And so you can swap around and change different things and try new
same thing
new
with your
different
box.
New cuts. Yeah, I mean, it's great. So you get the $40 off, plus you get that free extra gift for life right from Good Ranchers.
Yeah. And you also can check out the Busby curated box that we created because it's what we love the most and what we in the Busby house eat the most here.
Yeah, it's all of our staples.
It's all of our staples here.
So you can go to the Busby box, which is goodranchers.com/Busby.
Yeah.
And there's the seed oil free chicken nuggets in there.
Yes, which are to die for.
For a while there,
it was
hard to get your hands on. Because for a while, it was the only chicken nugget. It was the first chicken nugget that was seed oil free, non-GMO, gluten free. I mean, so it's like the best quality chicken nugget on the market. Yeah, everybody wants it.
Yeah. So check out goodranchers.com and use code Busby. Get your $40 off and pick out your free meat for life.
Yep. Goodranchers.com. American meat delivered.
Thank you. This whole topic is interesting because I think about like becoming a Christian in my 20s. And so I had a conversation with someone today, and it was like, the story of this hard life growing up and was like left outside to die. Pretty much the mother did not want this child left outside to die. And someone found her, brought this baby to the hospital, and then she grew up in an orphanage. But she saw this girl, one of her foster homes, reading the Bible and asked her, how does she do that? And what does that mean or whatever? So anyways, I think about like how different it is for my perspective, because a lot of my life before like you knew Jesus a lot longer than I did.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't get saved and baptized as a believer until I was like 25 years old. And so I remember in the beginning being like, I feel like I have to catch up. Like there's so much I need to learn. There's so much.
You need to go to Sunday school. Yeah. And like sit around and learn all the Bible stories with the kids.
Yeah, those classes scared me too. But here I am 41 years old and I still feel like that. And I can still read the same stories and I can still feel there's still so much more to learn. There's still like, it's like God's word is like, it's like living word. And it's like, I could read this whole book.
Yeah.
Like I just read Amos. It's like 3 chapters. I actually think it's
Amos. Okay.
It's because I knew an Amos.
You knew an Amos?
Yeah. In Louisiana, there was a guy's. Yeah, I remember. I can see his face. Anyway, I swear it's Amos. Anyways, I'm going to call him Amos. Now he got me off track. But I read that story and it was very encouraging because he was like, it was encouraging to me knowing like what God's called me to like do this ministry and create this event and stuff. And a lot of times I feel not enough in all the things. And so having to read stories about like, you know, Jesus didn't always pick the prime people.
No.
He never really did.
No.
So I'm reading about Amos, which is, I think it's actually the shortest book in the Bible. It's 3 chapters.
Yeah. I mean, the disciples were like a bunch of misfits.
Yeah. And so it's just like, it just is a story about like a guy who was like a nobody, but like really turned it around. And so it just reminds me like, I don't have to be like, and I'm never going to be God. He is, as long as I continue. And I think that's why I have like an ambition to know him more, is because I feel not enough a lot. And so I know that I need him more because I feel not enough a lot. And so that story reminded me like, it's okay. Like you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be enough because God already knows you're enough.
Yeah.
You know, and you walk with him and you are enough, you know? And so it was just like, that's what I'm saying. Like I could read that. And if I read that 5 years ago, I could have not have gotten the same perspective out of it, you know?
Yeah.
And I could say that about a lot of stories in the Bible, but, back onto the topic of how do you find this balance? And I would say like, yes, we are nonstop. If I look back to where, you know, Quints were babies and at home, like there was just no time to breathe, no time to eat. I was actually very malnourished. Like 100 pounds. If you look back at those episodes, I was super skinny. But it was really, I learned to just really find like those, it could be 2 minutes and maybe that was all I had of the day. But I took value of those 2 minutes. And I feel like if I gave 2 minutes or if I gave 2 hours or 2 days or whatever it was about what was the quality of my time with God. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily how much time did I check the box. It's not about checking the box. And I'm a check the box kind of person. And so I kind of learned that with the busyness of life was that, you know, a lot of my love language too is like quality time. And so I learned that like, man, I'm sitting in this car in car rider line and it is quiet. I'm gonna just pray right now. I'm gonna talk to God right now. I'm gonna do my Bible study right now. I'm gonna like, it's little bitty moments that those of you who are listening, who are asking like, how do I do this? Or if you don't have a Bible, like you can find this anywhere. There's the Bible app. There's all kind of, you can Google it, you can chat it, you can do anything to get can go to Mordell and actually get the actual Bible. But it really just starts with being intentional and making a habit. Just like you make a habit to eat healthy, just like you make a habit to go to the gym, just like you make a habit to go, see your friends, or, to be with your family, or whatever it is. You got to make it a habit.
Yeah.
God wants to have a relationship with you, and to have a relationship, it takes you giving time.
Yeah. He wants your heart.
So that's what it's going to take from you. We don't have enough time, right? None of us have enough time,
yeah.
But you have to just find the time. Okay. Every day you have a window. When you're sitting on a toilet, there's your time. Everybody's going to sit on the toilet. Give one of those times to Jesus.
I don't think my mom does.
What? That's weird. Why would you say that? Taking moments, they don't have to be anyone else's time span of, what, it's not a race. It's not a race of like, oh, well, I spent this much time today reading my Bible. And it's like, you could read all you want, but what did you intake? So when we talk about like Bible plans, reading plans and stuff like that, there's some weeks where I might read the same 4 sentences every day. Just really, really taking it in and being like, what does this mean? Like, wow, this is so powerful. And just, doing like a study on that. Or sometimes I might be able to read 3 chapters of something because I'm feeling it and I can understand and like what God's speaking to me in that moment. So there's no perfect like way.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned.
Yeah. I mean, he prefers your heart over your just head knowledge.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's people that just know the Bible inside and out, but is there any fruit from that?
Right.
I mean, a lot of atheists like have read the Bible cover to cover, and I mean, they have head knowledge, but he doesn't have their heart.
Yeah. And we actually know people who know scripture, but their lives don't reflect it.
Yeah.
And I know that we've walked through seasons in, our lives of, in the 20 years we've been married and together and stuff, like of navigating through what does it mean to be a Christian and how your life changes and, the obstacles and stuff we go through, and how do you apply what you know to scenarios and stuff that you walk through, and also just finding those moments in your day, because we all have them. Just like I said, when you're in the shower, I love worship music, or praying when I'm in the shower. When you're in the bathroom, like these are moments that I know a lot of people are doing either daily. And so it's like, that is something that you can do when you're sitting in the car at a red light, as far as like for the family, change, like what can you do for your family? Like, how can you change a habit like for your family? I know something that we do in our house is, especially we used to have dance parties all the time when the kids were little. Mm-hmm. I mean, it would be like dance parties, but it wasn't like necessarily like today's hits pop music. Sometimes it was, but a lot of times as your kids get older, you're like, whoa, I don't want to hear those words come out of their mouths. And so you have to change, like, what are we listening to? And so now we're going to be listening to some Forrest Frank with them and stuff. It's some fun music, and there's some dances to that.
Yeah, but you also just getting the girls involved, making it their own. You went not long ago, and y'all went to the Christian bookstore, and they all picked out like a devotional for children. That
in the clearance section.
Yeah. Well, there's tons of stuff. I mean, there's like brand new books in their clearance section. It's weird what you can find in there, but yeah, and the girls, like, you know,
they were excited
that was theirs, and they had that, and so they took ownership in that.
Yeah.
But it leads to like a lot of questions. I mean, even just taking your kids to church and them learning stuff at church, and then they come home with questions, or, you know, what did you learn today and stuff like that. And it opens the door for questions, and just to keep that dialogue going with them throughout the week, you know, just keeps their little brains going.
Yeah. And it's really, you know, if you're a family that goes to church on Sunday morning or Saturday night, or maybe you're a Wednesday night, I mean, whichever day that you go as a family, try to do something intentional afterwards, because we know our children are going to, you know, when they're smaller, they're going to intake a little bit of like whatever activity or whatever they did. But our thing is that, like, if we go to lunch or whatever, we want to talk about, like, we want to kind of just ask a question like, hey, what did you color today at church? What was on your picture? Well, who did you color? Like, just something to ask them, or like if they come back with a craft or whatever. And it's just, to me as a mom, and not growing up with having those type of classes and like lessons as a kid, because I just did CCD and they weren't like that. We didn't color and do those things, and learning the gospel. And I think it's so beautiful to my heart. So I know it makes God's heart smile when it's like I can hear them recite something or know something and repeat something. And we see across the board out of all of our kids how each of them, something might stir in each of them differently. Something might lead to another question. One of them could care less, or, you know, and it's just very all different. And so you kind of just have to keep engaging. But that conversation, family time conversation, is a very valuable time. And as our kids have gone on, it's like one of our favorite things is like dinner time. Yeah. Like dinner conversations. Like,
yeah, for sure.
What did you love today? What happened? And now it's starting to become the after school, the van conversation. We had it today because we go to pick Blake and we have about 15 minutes in the car. So it was, tell me what was your good today? And then Riley goes, well, I know what my good wasn't, because you didn't bring me my water bottle that I left at home. It's like, hey now. Anyway, so I think, you have any other comments for today? I think as we close this episode out, hopefully you've gotten some insights of some little things that you could do. And I feel like I was even saying, like, just do it. Just next time you're at the red light or on the toilet or in the shower or whatever, just say a prayer.
Yeah. Stop worrying about it and just, or thinking you don't have enough time, just find the time and just peel back those little moments and create a habit. Yeah.
So we'll just close out this podcast with have you thinking about what's one thing you can cut out this week to make that space for God, or how are you going to incorporate it into your day? So, thanks for listening.
Yep. And let us know. All right.
We're filming at night, so Adam's like, he's drowning.
I always
right
told
now.
her I cannot do this at night, and we're doing it at night. So like I go.
Anyways, just remember, guys, you don't have to do everything. God never asked you to carry it all. He just asked you to seek Him first. Yep. So, peace out, guys.
All right, we love you guys.